and welcome to MentorMe Memorable Moments. I'm your host, Tracy Everette, and I've got somebody sitting beside me that you have not met in the studio before. Another co-host from our Health Tenet segment.
How you doing? Sir Charles Carey at your service.
We're going to have a wonderful time tonight. This is one of our special programs, and Sir Charles Carey appears at the fifth Sunday in any given month. He is going to be here, and sometimes I won't be here. He'll be taking it for me. But Sir Charles is very experienced in this area, and you've probably seen him around town in a lot of different workshops and lectures and demonstrations of his business, and he's also one of those little reality TV stars too.
Woohoo!
So
Check that out. Yes.
Talk a little bit about that too. But before we even kick off Sir Charles and his segment, let's give you a little video of his intro. Sir.
Around the mic. Around the mic. Sir Charles Carey.
You've met him, and I'm going to turn this segment over to him, Sir Charles Carey.
First and foremost, I want to say, Tracy, thanks for bringing me aboard.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to it, so now it's a reality.
Yes.
We're making it happen. I am here, and I'm here for you as well. Today, I want to talk to you about what it is that I'm good at, what it is that I thrive at, what I love, and hopefully, throughout that process, I want you to be able to find what you're good at. I want you to be able to find what you thrive in, what you seemingly can't do without. I'm a change management strategist, or sometimes people look at change management and transformation as one and the same. There are slight differences, but it's all about going from where you are to where you want to be, or in some cases, where you need to be.
Oh, yes.
And it's so funny, in life today, we see so many things with society. Things are going left, they're going right, when maybe they should sometimes just stand still. And especially with our young folks. And I really would like, if the opportunity is presented to me, I would like to have an opportunity of tapping into those young minds, sort of opening up their heads and pouring in some information that may give them a different perspective. So in weeks and months coming, I want you to look forward to this segment, because not only will I be sharing with you, I will be bringing other experts to share with you different views and different ways of looking at how you can transform, or how you can help someone else transform by bringing the resources directly to them.
So, Sir Charles, let me ask you this. You mentioned something about being a change management strategist,
Right.
and the only one in this metropolitan area. What is a change management strategist?
Well, usually when you hear about change management, it deals with corporate America, or the corporate
Right.
structure.
Yeah.
And when it comes to them doing something different within the confines of that business, whether it's downsizing, a takeover, whether it comes to some type of corporate shift, if you will. Sometimes it could be because of finance. Sometimes it may even simply be, like I said, a leverage buyout, or corporate takeover. But it's usually some kind of a major change. Branding, for example, that's another way. But just as you have that same practice with corporations, there is change within the person, the individual. And that's where I look at it more as transformational leadership.
Okay. And individuals could also be a group, a family that
Absolutely.
wants to change. Okay.
I tell people a lot of times that the truth of the matter is that most people are CEOs,
Yes.
but they don't look at it that way. If you're in a family structure, mother, father, and I know we have a lot of single families, but if you're a mom or a dad, you're a CEO. You have to run that family.
Right.
Now, you're not going to make everyone punch a clock and say yes, sir, and no, sir. But
Okay.
the family has to be managed. The family has to be maintained. Money's got to be made. The bills have to be paid.
That's right. That's right.
The kids / would-be employees have to be fed. They have to
Okay.
be groomed, taught, the ins and outs, the do's, the don'ts of life, so they can live life on life's terms. So actually, it's very similar to a corporate structure.
Okay. All right. I like that.
See, one of the biggest problems I find, and I know I am a very unconventional person, an unconventional thinker, is that we make things too complicated, too sophisticated. If it's not sophisticated, it can't be real, So the vocabulary must be on a collegiate level.
Oh my
The
gosh.
explanation must be something that is just so grand. And look, my business is about creating change and making it simplistic. Helping people that are in difficult situations. And I would like to do that so much more than I'm able to do it now. I mean, I'm busy, but I look to be busy because, again, this is something that I love to do. I think it's important, especially because of the state of the world today, with all of the negative press, the mistreatment of each other,
Right.
whether it's law enforcement or whether it's the common citizen mistreating each other. It's just sad, and I truly believe the crime would be a lot lower if people knew who they were. When you know who you are, you don't have time for foolishness.
Yeah. Hey. Yes. That is true.
Because you're on a mission. You're in the throes of doing that thing that you love, doing that thing that makes you feel good, makes you feel great.
But that is true because, before you and I started the program, we were talking about DNA,
Yes.
family DNA,
Yes.
and where we come from, and that you're walking in the line of your family DNA,
Absolutely.
as I am too.
Yep.
And so if neighborhoods or communities or families knew exactly what DNA they hold,
Yes.
then, like you said, they'd stop this foolishness.
I'm probably going to be coming out with it, but I think people have to be aligned where they're designed.
Okay,
And
tweet that.
yeah, you have to be aligned where you're designed.
Yes.
And I think the government, even though we think they mean well, they've done us a misservice, an injustice, if you will, by trying to make things better, quote unquote better, but by removing programs from schools, lessening activities, minimizing budgets. Now these
Right.
kids don't have anything to do.
Right. That's right.
That's one thing. Our government, I think we need a different view coming from our government. And then we have to also, I would hope they would be open to considering, a fresher start because the world is getting younger and younger. So those old traditional ways, they're just not going to cut it. Or
Right.
put it like this, the old traditional people who are changing things, those ways are not going to cut it. We need fresh blood.
Right.
We need people who understand what the citizens need, what the citizens thrive on, or give the citizens an opportunity to attach themselves to something new, something different, something invigorating, something that holds their attention. But it all comes back to knowing who you are, in my opinion, which leads me to the cure for your business and existence.
All right. I'm ready.
I believe that there are 7 defining steps, but we won't get to every step today. But I want to just at least crack the egg, if you will, on some of the things we need to become better. Or some of the things we need to understand what this process consists of. And one of the things is personality.
Okay.
You have to know who you are. How can you know where you're going without knowing who you really are? Knowing what your desires are, what your tastes are, what your preferences are. It takes me to the personality types, talking about the shark, the dolphin, the whale, and the urchin. Now, the shark, we know the shark is let's go get it, let's go make it happen. We don't want to waste any time. Time is money. Let's go, let's get it, let's get it.
Already I'm tired.
But that's the shark. They don't have time for nothing but getting it, whatever it is. If it's music, let's play this music. If it's business, let's make it happen. Let's set some appointments. Let's close the deal.
Okay.
That's the shark.
All right.
But then you have the dolphin. The dolphin always wants to party. Listen, guys, let's go out and have some drinks. Let's have some food. Let's have some lunch. Listen, let's do this on Wednesdays, every Wednesday and Friday at such time. After the meeting. That's the dolphin. The dolphin always wants to party. Even in the midst of business, the dolphin wants to find the opportunity to have fun. And there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having fun. But then you have the whale, and the whale really, has this feeling of, well, guys, I'm just glad that we're all here because it's just good to be together.
Oh, how nice.
It's warm and fuzzy and, ooh, it just soothes me so.
I don't know, maybe
that I
a
can
little
spend
bit
time
of that
with
is
you.
in me. Yeah.
And the whale just wants everyone to get along. Now, the urchin, I kind of struggle with the title they give it, but the urchin is the stickler. The urchin wants to know that we can do it as long as it's in the rules.
That's me.
Within the time frame.
There has to be rules. Okay.
Is this technically set up properly? You know what I mean? Are you sure this is within the parameters of how things are supposed to go?
You sure they didn't call our Ted, not the author?
But, the thing is, I know people don't go around thinking in such an analytical process or format, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that we have to sometimes rethink our approach.
Okay.
And it's good, even if it's general, even if it's not deep in detail, to understand that the bottom line is that there are different personality types.
Yes.
And you have to know yourself first and foremost. Are you the person that just wants to get at it? Are you the person that wants to have fun all the time? And if so, how do you earn a living doing that? How do you get along with other people doing that, following that process? And can you recognize that when you're looking at other people, when you're engaging other people, if you're going to do business with other people? Do you know who it is that's sitting across from you?
Yeah, that's right. Because if I'm doing business, being the author, doing business with a dolphin, that's going to make me uncomfortable. I'm thinking they're joking and kidding too much.
Stop playing around. Let's go. What are you doing? This is a 30-minute interview, and you're wasting time being all social. Exactly.
Yeah, I have to be open.
So, and it's some people don't understand that you can still be your authentic self by understanding others, but in being your authentic self, you know how to deal with others.
Right.
And then you also know what job suits me best.
That's right. That's right.
You have to know what job suits you, because if you're a dolphin, which is like the social butterfly, and your job requires you to be at your desk, it's going to drive you crazy.
You're going to be miserable.
Now, if you're a shark, but you're at that desk making appointments, you may be okay. If you're the urchin, that one that wants to go by the rules, they want to make sure that everything is fine, they also may be okay. But it's going to drive that dolphin crazy.
Yep.
And the same thing on the reverse. I believe it's Google, Apple, and there's another company. They have this really open environment. Well, if you're a urchin, you're not going to want to be in that environment because they all come in with jeans. They are relaxed.
Right.
You want to be in an environment that suits your personality.
That's right.
That suits your talents and your gifts.
Yes.
And that is very, very important. Now,
I'm feeling relieved already.
but let's keep it real. Sometimes we don't always have the option of being perfectly aligned. I get it. You have to do what you have to do. But you should not succumb or just submit to something that's not for you. When you submit to something that is not for you, you will never be satisfied. Long term, that's a no-no.
Okay, and so that's being in a family that has a DNA that does this kind of work, but you're the dolphin. You like to run and play, and you think that you can do that kind of work and be just as happy. That kind of thing.
I can tell you, I'll give you an example. I remember going for a job once, and I just saw this PBS special about mirroring. And I was like, mirroring, that's interesting. Excuse me. And they were talking about how you can have activities that complement or mirror other people's. And what that does is create a certain comfort. So I was going for a job interview once, and I decided, let me try it. It was kind of risky because I wasn't an expert, but the concept was pretty simplistic. So I sat down. So the guy, he sat down, and he sat up. He said, so tell me about yourself. So I was sitting in the chair when I walked in his office. I was sitting back kind of relaxing. He sat up. So I sat up. I said, well, I have children, and I've been here in the Washington area only for a short period of time. Then he leaned back and he said, oh, okay, well, what kind of extracurricular activities you have? And since I was leaning up, I leaned back. I said, well, and I went on and I mirrored his movements throughout the entire interview. And it wasn't to copy him or mock him, but it was to utilize this mirroring strategy. At the end of the interview, he said, that was a good interview. It was kind of like as if he was scratching his head like, wow. And I said, okay, thank you.
Okay.
And I left, and I got the job.
All right.
Now, would I have gotten the job anyway? I don't know. But I know that using the mirroring strategy, I felt gave me a little more leverage, a little more advantage. Because, again, I got the job. The guy liked me. I like him, too. He's a good guy. And, I just had the best experience.
And you had fun.
Yes, and I had fun.
Have fun.
So I would advise you, don't just take this interview or this session here as your sample for learning how to mirror. But if you're looking for a job, or if you're looking to get in to a position that may benefit you, look up mirroring, MIRRORING. Read up on it a little bit. Maybe even watch a few videos so that you can see what it looks like. And then the next opportunity you have to go out and do something that's meaningful to you, or something that will maybe help you get ahead, try that strategy and see how well you fare. It works. That's all I can tell you.
All right. Okay.
Now, normally,
Do you want Mike to put the slides up?
Sure, absolutely. You can definitely put the slides up, Mike. Doing this, I suggest that you get your pen, your paper,
Next slide, please.
whatever you need. And I like Evernote myself because Evernote is a good resource. I use it on my trusty smartphone, and using Evernote, when I get to my desktop, the same information is still there. So I like Evernote. There's a new one too, a new resource. Let me see what the name of it is. I just started using it recently. I'll just share it with you because Pinzu, similar to Evernote, but Evernote I like also, and it's a free app. So, but I want you to take some notes because I want to share some information with you that you may feel that resonates with you. Now, I don't know exactly what's going to resonate with you, but I'm sure something will hit home. Normally, I like to try to give you enough information from so many angles that you can take away 3 to 5 different tips.
Next slide.
Yeah, so if you can get 3 to 5 different tips, then that means that I am doing my job. So once you do go there, I want to tell you, if you are the person that has a leadership mindset, or that's just your personality, this is for you.
Okay.
Whether it's your in your place of worship, whether it's on your job, this presentation or this conversation, I should say, is for you. Because I truly believe that the cure for your life, it starts with you. But this here, the right mindset, that's what you really need. If you don't have the right mindset, it's going to be hard to get ahead in life. And I understand we have so many distractions. This is one of the biggest, I guess to say, faux pas. You got social media, all platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, et cetera, et cetera.
Creating new ones every day.
Pinterest, yeah. I mean, those are major distractions. But the 3 to 5 takeaways that you'll only get them if you can really commit to yourself. So I need you to commit to you, not to me, to you. Commit to yourself, and when it's all said and done, I'm definitely open. You can find me on all those social media platforms. You want to look at facebook.com/Sir Charles Carey or twitter.com/Sir Charles Carey. Share what your takeaways are from the show. So, again, if you're a business owner, if you're a leadership in any capacity, the information I'm going to share with you today should benefit you. Next slide.
Next slide.
There are one more. Various character traits. Now, we talked about the shark and we talked about the dolphin, and I know that, resonates with some of you, but believe it or not, 87% of people do not like what they do for a living. Now, I just heard Les Brown say the other day that it's 86%.
Oh my gosh.
But 87%.
Wow.
Now, you know what that means? That means that 13% of people are totally satisfied in leadership, or they've just become complacent. Mm-hmm. But 87% of people, they go to work every single day, and they don't like being there. That number's too big.
Is that you?
Yeah, I mean, if that's you, this information is going to benefit you in ways that maybe you never considered. So my job, my responsibility, not job, it's really a responsibility because of what I do. It's my responsibility to share information that can change that dynamic. Now, we all heard go to school, get good grades, and get that good job.
Right.
Why didn't they tell us to go to school, get good grades, and learn how to run our own business?
Oh, yes. Instead of making it one of those special classes.
Right. It's only in recent years that Harvard, Yale, and maybe a few other prestigious colleges have begun to use the entrepreneurial mindset or the entrepreneurial skills as a class where you get credits and people can prepare for business.
Right.
Now, you may have seen a few seconds ago there was a slide that showed people in front of a house and
Nice
stuff like
big
that.
house.
Yeah, because we all began to experience some of these firsts in our lives. We get our first car,
Yes.
we get our first apartment, condo, or home, our first child, or two, or three.
Okay.
But these things are necessary. They're very important, but they're very necessary because they also help mold and shape where we're going to grow and how we're going to develop and
Right.
the jobs we're going to choose.
Like
know?
you said, personalities.
Yeah, and the personalities, exactly. Because if you get off to a bad start, you may not get what you really want out of a relationship, out of a community that you're going to live in.
Right.
And, there's a trickle
Right.
effect. So it's really important that, in addition to that, next slide, please, that you understand that, even though those are some of your first, I may be talking to you, I may not be talking to you, but you're going to find out you're going to have to make a choice. If you can relate to what I'm sharing with you, then you're going to understand that there's some change that's going to be needed. Next slide. And the change that you're going to need really is all about you making that decision because you do the same thing or you've been doing the same thing. In fact, you've joined the circus and you didn't even know it because you're doing the same thing
That is
day
true.
in and day out.
That is true.
Week in and week out. Month in and month out. Y'all can join me year in and year out. Then you turn around and you look around, it's 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And it's either time to move on, time to retirement. And you're saying to yourself, you know what? I don't like what I'm doing. I want more. You fill this void. And part of the void is that you're not aligned where you're designed.
And and to use that circus anatomy, just thinking of the elephants, those elephants could break through and be free if they just lift up. Just lift the leg up. But instead, they keep going the same path and thinking that they're trapped.
And why? Because they've been trained.
Yes.
They've been programmed.
Wow.
They've been programmed since they were small elephants.
That good government job did that.
Good government job. They put that I don't know, some kind of contraption on their leg, pounded it into the ground.
That's right.
So those elephants knew that they would only go so far. So when they took it off of their legs, they don't even try to go any further.
That's right.
And it's the same thing with us.
That's right.
We've been trained to do exactly what the infamous they said that we should do. And the reality is that not only do we find ourselves in this, uncomfortable position, but we start trying to feel for what's missing, but we don't know what it is.
Something is missing, and so what? We get into a lot of other things that get us into trouble or get us off
We
track.
get into things that get us in trouble. We try different jobs. We
yeah.
try, having part-time jobs. We try doing things in the community, but But
Oh
again,
wow, but something's missing.
we're not aligned where we're designed.
Okay, all right. I like that.
So when you start getting that, you got your hand on your head, or you kind of like, every now and then you're in a conversation, which you kind of like phase out mentally because
Yes.
Something's missing.
Yes.
That's why.
Oh my gosh.
And
Did
that's-
you hear that?
But you know what? That's also why we make several trips back and forth to the refrigerator.
Oh.
That's
wow.
also why
Praise
we
Lord.
waste and spend money doing things that we don't enjoy. We keep doing activities, getting no pleasure
Because we're not aligned.
where we're designed. Now, next, you'll also find that what happens is, it's just really a uncomfortable place to be when you don't know what's for you. And I think the benefit, of being uncomfortable is simply that you have to learn to become comfortable. Now, I know that may sound crazy and sound like the type of thing you would not want to do, but life is designed a certain way for us, and when you're trying something new, it's supposed to be uncomfortable.
That's true.
But what we usually do is when we first meet that level of discomfort, we resist it.
That's right.
We
Yes,
push
we draw
back.
back.
And then we settle back into the old ways
Right.
that we just come from. We start to have the same thoughts, the same activities. We don't truly learn how to embrace this new phase in our lives. We don't learn how to embrace this new challenge.
We don't prepare ourselves
No.
for that next expansion of our circle or that next level that we're going to progress to. We
No,
just-
and there is a reason for it. I'll try to look at both sides of the coin. Honestly, when I present or talk or speak or have a conversation, honestly, I try to look at all angles because I don't believe that anything is absolute. I believe that everything happens for a reason, yes, but
right.
it happens for several reasons depending on who you are. Sometimes we're just products of our environment. And like our parents and our grandparents or our big brother, or that guy on the block we always looked up to.
Yeah.
They told us to do this and do that. And we thought that that was the right thing to do.
Right.
But like I said, we get programmed and we get used to doing the same old.
That's the picture of the generation behind us and the generation behind that generation.
Yep. Because believe it or not, some things that the baby boomers were groomed to do,
Hello.
so are the millennials being groomed to do. And that is years, that's decades apart. But they're being told the same thing.
Right.
Now, how can that be? Because we have the same people in charge, the same structure
Right.
in place.
That's right.
Next slide, please.
Oh, wow.
Now, what happens a lot of times, we'll, get to this point, like I said, 5, 10, 15, maybe even 20 years, and we're thinking, okay, I know, if I go back to school to get another degree, then that's the answer. Now, honestly, it's not.
A lot of thoughts been going through my head. Okay.
Well, most people are already working and already have a degree, but the two are not even associated.
right. That's
so you're
right.
working outside of your area of expertise. But now you got this great idea to go back to school, to further your education, to get another degree,
Another-
still outside of your interest
Yes.
area.
Yes.
Again, you're not aligned where
Right.
you're designed.
Wow. That's got to be a miserable life.
It's a miserable life, a miserable existence, and yet you have the responsibility of passing down to the next generation how they're supposed to do things. And meanwhile, you're not even happy.
Or and if you're training the next generation to do it the way that you're doing it, they'll never reach
Yeah.
their alignment.
Now, I must let you know this. If you say, okay, Charles, you know what? I get what you're saying. I'm going to do it, and I'm good at doing things like that. You have to get used to being alone. Because most people will not travel the same path
That's
you
right.
travel on. They say, what is it? The road
Road
less traveled.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Many of us, we will travel the road that everyone goes on, but the road least traveled is the path that will take you to where you need to be.
And I don't want everyone following me because that's my alignment. Go find your own, unless you're walking down that path too. Otherwise, you're going to be a distraction, a hindrance.
Yes,
a
absolutely.
problem.
Absolutely. So let me see the next slide. So you have to understand it's not about relating to what everyone else said, sort of like what you just said. Your path is your path, my path is my path. Sometimes the two paths can cross.
Right.
And they may cross at a certain point for a certain period of
That's
time.
right.
And that's a good thing. And if we're working together, it's okay also because you're doing some things that I may not be good at, and I may be doing some things that you're not good at.
Right.
But most of us, we want
Right.
to be just like our friends. We want to be just like, everyone else that we know. We want to be just like our buddy next door to us. We want to be just like doing just what the teacher told us. And that still does not mean that that is the path that you're supposed to take.
Well, look at all the youth, 2 generations behind us. They want to be just like that singer who, is married to that hip hop artist, and they want to twerk like her, they want to dance like her, they want to wear their hair like her. No, those are not our heroes or sheroes. That's not it.
I would say this to that comment: those are models, and I don't mean fashion models, but those are examples on where you can go, maybe even what that environment looks like, but it does not have to be identical. There's a good friend of mine said that if 2 of us are alike, one of us is not needed.
Oh, that's true. That is
So
true.
that is something to consider. You have to be true to yourself. And I understand sometimes it's kind of challenging when you've only heard things one way. I get it. Because as a vocalist, my first love was music. I sang and I did all this stuff. It was the Jacksons and it was Earth, Wind, and Fire. That was my thing. But they already had a Michael Jackson.
Okay.
They already had an Earth, Wind, and Fire.
All right.
So, I may be able to complement some of their music styles with my own style, but in the beginning, usually we're trying to mimic everything we see. But they really don't need 2 of the same. And if they do have 2 of the same, you can be sure you're not going to get paid the same as they are.
All right.
So you have to find your own voice, your own unique voice. Next slide, please.
If the DNA is different, then you should be different.
Right. And it goes to show you that our thinking is wrong. Next slide again. I mean, we've been bamboozled. We've been led astray.
Hoodwink.
We've been hoodwinked. We've been given all the wrong information with good intentions. Honestly, the intentions were good. But as time comes out, you get a new device, right? You get a new phone, you get a new widget, a new laptop. First you got the MacBook, then you got MacBook Air. And, the point is, so should your thinking evolve.
Oh, yes.
So should your thinking evolve.
Yes.
From the ages of 1 to 7 years old, they say a child's personality pretty much is formed. Okay, now you are still a child, so you don't know everything, but you begin to know right from wrong, and you have to have the responsibility from at least that point. And we're hoping that by the time you're 7 years old, your parents have told you right from wrong, what's good and what's bad, what's hot and what's not. So knowing that, you have the opportunity, as you continue to grow, to make decisions based on your own interests, your own preferences. Now, you can't make adult decisions until you become an adult, but knowing that they said go to school, get good grades, and get a good job, okay, fine. But once you've done that, and you start to see that there's this thing called technology, right? And technology has created this or created that. Well, maybe your thinking is a little different. Maybe you don't want to become a bookkeeper.
Okay.
Maybe you don't want to become an accountant. Maybe you want to learn how to do it with computers. Maybe you want to be a manager. Maybe you want to be something that hasn't even been created yet.
Oh, I love that. Ooh, I love that.
So the only way to do that is to allow your mind to be free. And the unfortunate part about that, Tracy, is that again we have so many distractions. So you want to be around people that are doing the things that you have an interest in doing. I'm talking about positive stuff, nothing negative. Talking about positive stuff. And if they're doing it, that's the direction you want to go in, and those are the people you want to associate with. Now, if they're not going where you want to go, then obviously those are not the people you need to be with. You're not going to grow or evolve by being around them. Next slide, please. So here again, we're talking about people. So many people are toxic.
Oh, then we have a
We-
show
we-
on that mic.
You know, it's unfortunate that sometimes you can wake up and go to work, or go to your coffee house or whatever. Or you're having a conversation with someone. You say, you know what? I was thinking about, and they're going to give you all the reasons why it won't work.
Oh, yes.
Hey, did you know it's such
Yes.
such? That's not true. That's not true. The reality is, maybe that person can't see beyond their own self, their own
Right.
mind, their own limited box. But here it is. You had a vision. You had an idea, and they're shutting it down, or they're not willing to even hear it completely.
Wow, they destroyed your vision over a breakfast bagel.
Did you even get to finish the bagel? So, I have to understand that some people are just like that. They will stomp out your dreams as quickly as you can try to give them breath or
Right.
give them life.
Yes.
Now, you want to be around more positive people. And, you may say, well, duh, of course, right? Yes. But I'm talking about people in professions or in industries that cater to your interest. And it can be people in your place of worship.
Right.
It can be people on your job. They don't have to be celebrities, is my point. They don't always have to be celebrities. Now, I'm very fortunate. For me, the circles that I travel in the communications and in the personal development space, I get a chance to be with people like Les Brown and Dr. Willie Jolly and Delatoro McNeil and Simon Bailey and all these guys that are doing fantastic things. And it doesn't matter that they may be head and shoulders, in some cases, above my financial levels of success, because I'm still going in the directions that they're going. And I go places that they go. In fact,
Right.
maybe next time I
Mirroring.
do a show, mirroring, absolutely. Maybe next time I do a show, I can show you some slides and some images of some of the people that I'm speaking about, if you don't know these people. And some of their industries are achievement, peak performance, sales, things of that nature, industries of that level. But they're some of the top speakers in the world. In fact, Dr. Jolly wrote forwards for 2 of my books, and he is the 12th top speaker in the world. Delatoro McNeil is the 32nd top speaker in the world, and he wrote the forward for my current book, which is called Radiate the Brain and Change the Game. If you haven't seen it, I'll show it to you here. Radiate the Brain and Change the Game. Finding the cure for cancer in your business and your existence. In fact, the discussion that we're having today pretty much is based off of that book. So if you're interested in things like that, you can always go to my website a little later on, or you can go right now, actually, while we're on the broadcast, and look into the book, get the book. In fact, let me know. I'll even sign it for you. Make sure you get it within the next couple of days. But next slide. The point is, you have to think about all the things that you're doing. And I tell people constantly, as a CEO, you have to have a vested interest in everything you do. Now, we just finished talking about the people, but I'm also talking about the places
That's
that
right.
you go.
That's right.
Where do you go?
Be careful where you go.
Yes, because you'll find out, we hear a lot of negative stuff in the news and social media, but you know what? A lot of those people are playing in a space that caters to that kind of activity. If you're in positive spaces, that kind of activity is not going to be
That's
around
right.
you.
That's right.
So if you're going to the movies, if you're going to the happy hour, if you're going to the buffet, honestly speaking, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're aspiring for more, if you're really trying to do something, I'm going to give you a tip that will make just a 180-degree change. Go with business cards. Because you never know, there may be someone there that can help you,
That's right.
or someone there that you can help. Now, I know in that case, we're sort of putting the cart before the horse, but when you're doing that, you want to already have identified what it is that you're doing and what it is that's going to be your profession. But when you do go there, sometimes people, they take off their work hat and they're just comfortable all the time.
The dolphin.
This is always having fun.
Yeah.
Fun is good, but make it work for you. Get paid to have fun. You know, when I go to dinners, whether it's awards dinners or anything, honestly, I wouldn't care if it's the best food in the world. I want to know who's at the party.
I know
I
that's
don't even
right.
have to eat.
That
I may
is
be hungry,
right.
but I don't even have to eat.
That's right.
Who is there that can serve me or that I'm able to serve?
That's right.
That's
Yes.
more important than the filet mignon. I'm just saying.
I agree. I do.
Now, the things also we talked about the places and the places and the things are sort of parallel, but you know most people don't want to get on a webinar. Most people don't want to get on a teleseminar.
Oh my.
Most people don't want to get on a teleconference. Most people don't want to go to a retreat unless it's all about one thing: fun, dolphin activity. See, people that are watching this broadcast in real time and those that are watching this broadcast as a replay, you are above the fray. In fact, you should give yourself a round of applause or just give yourself the full credit because honestly, you are investing in yourself right now.
That's right.
You know, and that makes a huge difference. Don't have to preach to you and tell you about the benefits of catering to your strengths because this is a step that will take you closer to your goal than most others would. So I just want to take a little break just to tell you about a few other things that's going on because I know that I won't have time to get through everything, and I don't want to rush through it and do it in injustice. But there's a lot that I've been doing, Tracy. I know you've seen and you know about some of my activities, but I had the opportunity of being a part of a reality show.
That's right. Yes.
The Keynote.
Yes, indeed.
And I was so excited about that. I never thought that at this point in my professional life that would be even a path that I would take because it just wasn't, you know. But I met a gentleman by the name of Del Toro McNeil, and he has a reality show called The Keynote. And The Keynote, they took 9 of us and put us in a mansion in Tampa, Florida. And we had different challenges every day. I mean, I'm talking about young people, old people, black, white, all of us,
Which is
all in
perfect.
the same place. Not scripted.
Okay.
So we're not forced to do any particular activity as far as, you know, the way we treated each other. But it was real. What can I say? You know, we had a private chef. We had a private masseuse.
Okay.
How
long was this?
Those were the highlights. But every day for that week was different and exciting. And then when the lights were down, we had a session, the business of the business. And I was like, wow, you know, well, you really get a chance to talk to one of the top speakers in the world about how businesses run when the lights are off. You know, how businesses run before you get out there on the big platform. So every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, go to thekeynotetv.com and you can see each episode. Every episode, again, comes on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. And if you register now, you'll be able to see the previous episode. Plus, we're going to send you some downloads on communication, 7 steps on communications coming from Del Toro McNeil himself. And again, that's a complimentary download for you. And you have an all-access pass to the entire season. And we've been getting great feedback. And I'm excited about having the opportunity to participate in the show. You know, representing for the old dogs here, you know.
All right.
But it's great. It's great. It's really good. So,
Wow.
I mean, it's just so much going on. Let me go to the next slide because we're getting close. We're going to wrap up. I want to give you some more to chew on. So I'm hoping you're taking notes because I wanted you to have 3 to 5, next slide, takeaways.
Well, while that slide is coming up, I'm taking away that there are different personality styles. And
Definitely.
which style that I fit in. I'm taking away that I now need to broaden my circle of friends because
Yes.
I've now got a focus. I've got a destiny, and I need to get moving in that direction and stop this foolishness someplace else. And I'm also taking away that I need to surround myself with positivity or positive people. Doesn't matter if they're going in the same direction that I'm going in.
Right.
At least they're going in a direction to what? Align themselves.
Exactly. You got to be aligned where you're designed.
Yes, yes. That's what my 3 takeaways are. So I'm
Well, that's
anxious to hear
fantastic.
the rest.
That's fantastic. So what do we have next, Mike? Our next slide. Right. One more.
Next slide.
You know what's so funny? Yeah, one more slide. You know, it's so funny. I've been sharing all this information. One more about what I've done. That's perfect. About what I do, but I haven't told you very much about myself. So I'll take a few minutes just to share a few things about myself. I have written 3 books. I did mention that the first 2 books were forwards were written by Dr. Willie Jolly, and my current book, in fact, I have one here, Courage Facing Mortality. It's in the slide. Courage Facing Mortality. Cancer wasn't my only obstacle.
Oh.
So that was one of my life challenges. And then Radiate the Brain and Change the Game, Finding the Cure for Your Business and Existence. In fact, Courage Facing Mortality was an Amazon bestseller, so I was really excited about that. But I'm also FLETC certified. So I'm certified to teach customer service to law enforcement, professionalism, as well as public speaking, and that's what I've been doing with government. In addition to that, I am a Service Quality Institute trainer, so I teach people how to conduct training, and I teach it myself, of course.
So you teach the customer service agents to say thank you.
Thank you. How can I help you? How can I serve you?
Yes.
Most recently, though, I got my positive leadership certification from George Mason University. I was excited about that. But I've also been in films. If you know Nicolas Cage and John Voight, well, I was in National Treasure, Book of Secrets.
Really?
Yes.
What role did you play?
I played a few roles. I played a CIA agent in one of the scenes. Actually, I was covering for a friend of mine that I knew back in New York. He wasn't there. He couldn't find the set. But I was in the opening scene where you could only hear, and then I was in a scene with Nicolas Cage and Bruce Greenborough when he's talking to the president about this hidden secret, and he takes the president underground, and the Secret Service goes bananas because POTUS is missing. POTUS is missing.
Oh no!
But I took my kids to see the film. It was so funny, and I'm handing out the popcorn and handing out the soda, and my daughter says, "Daddy, there you are." I looked. I was gone, Tracy.
Oh no!
I was gone. But it was great. It was great. I met a lot of fun people.
You gotta see National Treasure.
Yes.
Just to see him.
National Treasure. That was one of the highlights in my quote unquote acting career. Even though I've been in other films, acting is a lot of fun. But I'm saying, I don't know if I could show this. I don't know if this is even here. Let me see. Is it? Will it play? I don't think this is on here. Maybe next time we'll do it. I'll show you a trailer from the keynote. Let's see.
So you.
Oh, you know what? Maybe it is here, but you know what? This isn't connected to the system, so I can't really show it.
No, we can see it next time.
You will see it next time.
Again in June.
Yes. I'll show it next time so that people can see what it was like, the mansion and all the fun we had, and just the bigness of it all. But remember, Tuesdays 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, and that's on the internet.
That
is not on TV. That's on the internet.
Now, let me tell you this. We took this show idea to all of the networks. And I'm not going to name them by name, but y'all know the networks that show reality shows. They all said no. They wanted fighting and sex, and this is a real reality show. I mean, real people. For example, one woman, she swam Alcatraz, to my understanding. She's a Navy vet. Another woman, she's a survivor of domestic violence. I overcame substance abuse, and I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. There's a pastor in the house. I mean, there's just so many different diversified backgrounds, and we didn't know each other. So we first, met on the set, and it was just a great experience. Really, really good experience.
So we've got about 3 minutes, and I know you still have some slides to go through. This is some good information. What is it that you really want us to now take away? Let me say this, that you can find Sir Charles on MentorMe411.com along with all of our profiles, and you can click on his profile and get to his website for his books and other information. But you can also contact him across social media, and all of his contact information is there. And he mentioned his website where you can go and purchase his book. But there's so much going on with you. We've got a couple of minutes. What do you want us to walk away with? Because we're going to see you again in July.
I'm going to ask you a question. This is a 2-part question, and it's not for me. It's literally for you. So I want to ask this question. I want you to answer yourself. What is the thing that you talk about more than anything else? And when you talk about it, you smile inside. Maybe an actual smile comes to your face. You see, whatever that answer is, you may have just met your purpose.
Yes.
And it's different for everybody. That's step one. Because some people may say, well, I know what it is. It's this and it's that. Well, it's okay if it's more than one thing. One of my best scenarios, which I can't really get into now because we don't have time, would be to break down to you how it's okay to have more than one interest and how to use that as a launching pad. But the next show, we'll talk about just that. I'll pick up from that question and I'll complete the conversation talking to you about the cure for your business and existence and how to make a difference. Yeah, I like the way that sounds. The cure for your business and existence and how to make a difference.
I like that.
I may have to do something with that.
Yeah, and don't go any further than that unless you're going to contact and connect with Sir Charles between these two programs. Just think about what it is that you like to do. If you were given the opportunity, what would it be? And when you come back, he's going to help you get to that place.
Yes.
Doesn't matter how your life was lived, good or bad.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
180 degrees with Sir Charles will help you get to that place. Well, you know what? I thank you for joining us.
I thank you for being here with me.
And I know we're going to see you again in July
Yes.
31st. I think
believe
it's
it
a
is.
Sunday.
Yes.
If not, just connect with us because we're tweeting out and talking to social media, introducing all of these things. But we're going to be back next week with social health, and that is Dwayne and William.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and you can catch all of our archived YouTube videos. Just go in and search for MentorMe 411. But between now and next week, we want you to be safe, be smart, be healthy. Bye-bye.
Well, I wear my clothes like this because I can. And I wear my hair like this because I can. And I walk around like this because I can. And I do my thing like this because it's who I am. And if you expect me to give you an apology for being nothing that you're used to, go right on ahead and wait. Hold your breath and concentrate. Keep holding till your face turn blue. My road ain't your road, but just I know just where I'm going. My flow ain't your flow, but just I know just how I'm flowing. I'ma do my thing. Please feel free to hate and complain. Said I'ma do my thing. Say what you want, but this one ain't gonna change. Said I'ma do my thing. I can't wear my clothes like you because I'm not. I can't do my hair like you because I'm not. I can't walk around like you because I'm not. I can't do my thing like you, well it just ain't hot. And if you're expecting me to give you an apology for being nothing like you used to, well, go right on and head away. Hold your breath and concentrate. Keep holding till your face turns blue. See my road, it ain't your road, but trust I know just where I'm going. In my flow, it ain't your flow, but trust I know just how I'm flowing. I'ma do my thing. So please feel free to hate and complain. I'ma do my thing. And say what you like, 'cause this one ain't gonna change. I'ma do my thing. You don't know where I'm going, and so you think I'm lost. I ain't on your page, okay? So to you that means I'm off. When I dance to the beat of a drummer you don't hear and you can't see. So if I look offbeat to you, well the problem must be you, not me. Irregular but never irrelevant, unusual but never uncool. You're not cut from my clothes, you don't get me. Well, I don't get you.